Today, God's love unending invite you to listen to the Father gentle whisper. He leads us to the true freedom and deep healing.
My beloved child, your life is a gentle melody, with each note woven from kindness, sincerity, and light. Each day, I watch you grow, tentatively stepping through the chaos of this world, amidst things you do not yet fully understand, and among hearts still learning how to touch one another without causing pain. But, my dear, there are moments when your hand may unintentionally brush across a wound that has not yet healed in someone's heart, and even if you never meant to, even if you never knew, that wound may still begin to bleed. You are not a bad person. I have never seen darkness in your heart. I have witnessed the quiet moments when you placed someone else's happiness above your own. I have seen the light within you radiate warmth to cold and weary souls. Yet, even the most beautiful ray of sunlight can wither a delicate flower if it lingers too long upon its fragile petals. Even as you walk in light, you may still cast a shadow behind you. Perhaps a word you spoke in weariness, a thoughtless action when your heart was in turmoil, or a moment when you forgot that someone was watching you. Such small things may leave deep imprints in another's memory, like a cut that refuses to heal. And then, even without intention, you have caused pain, just a little, but enough to make a soul tremble. My precious child, if today I gently pull back the veil of memory and show you this truth, that in some fleeting moment you were the cause of silent tears, how would you respond? Would your heart ache with sorrow for a sadness that was never named? Or would you long to return to that instant, hoping to make it right, to hold that person once more, and offer a belated apology? I already know your answer, because I am the one who shaped your soul from the very first breath of life. Deep within your heart lies a sacred place untouched by anyone else, a realm where goodness reigns as an unthroned king, where compassion flows like a river that never runs dry. You are not a cruel soul. There is no deceit in you, no ill will to harm anyone. But even the purest spirit can leave wounds they never knew they caused. Even the righteous, walking in light, may unknowingly cast shadows over others. Oh, my child, what have you done? I do not speak this to scold you, nor to bring you pain. I speak so you may understand that goodness alone does not exempt us from hurting others. You may still wound someone, even when your heart is full of love. Such is life. Complex and fragile, like threads woven by many hands. Do not fear this truth, my dear. Do not let it cause you to close your open heart. Let any sorrow, if it comes, be a guiding light, not a chain that binds you. Let the love within you grow deeper, more discerning, more attuned, able to see into the hidden corners you once overlooked. Be brave enough to love again, to be kind again, to tread more gently, not from fear of failing, but from a longing to love more completely. No one walks through life without a single misstep. No one reaches into another's heart without their hand trembling at least once. But what sets you apart is that after everything, you still choose to walk with soft footsteps, with eyes that bow in humility, and with a heart that can say, "I'm sorry," without hesitation. So if you know you've ever hurt someone, even just once, Do not turn away. Face it. Offer your apology from the depths of your soul, with no excuses, with no expectation of immediate forgiveness. Only sincerity, only truth, and then you will see what comes from the heart. I love you not because you are perfect, but because even in your imperfections, you strive each day to be more kind. My beloved, hold on to that light within you. Never let it fade, even when the world feels cold and unfeeling. Just be yourself, with quiet tenderness, with unassuming goodness, and with the scars you carry as proof that you have lived, that you have loved, and that you are learning to grow from your mistakes. And if one day you find yourself lonely, questioning your worth, please remember, I am still here. I am always watching over you, not as a distant God, but as a heart that beats in rhythm with yours. You are not alone. You have never been forgotten, and you will always, always be the beloved child in my eyes. My dearest one, please do not let fear take hold of your heart. I do not come to you as a raging storm, not to make you tremble in guilt or confusion. I come to you with the purest love I can offer, with an open heart, with gentle truth, and with an unwavering desire for you to grow, to shine brighter, and to draw nearer to the beautiful being I planted within you from the very beginning. Then, the beautiful being placed in your heart sent you on a swift journey, raised to fame and fame within the beginning. This life, my child, does not always ring with clear bells telling you which path is right or wrong. There are stretches of road you travel with pride and trust, believing all is well, that you are living rightly, loving rightly, creating beauty. But have you ever looked back at the footprints you've left behind? Perhaps, somewhere along the way, someone bowed their head because of a word you spoke in passing. Perhaps, in some quiet corner, a gaze turned dim because of a small act you thought harmless. No, I know you meant no harm. There is no malice in you, no jealousy, no deceit. You never wished to hurt anyone. But even the most beautiful stars can cause those on earth to forget the night sky, so captivated they stumble in the dark. Even brilliance can blind. And sometimes, even the most sincere heart may unknowingly push someone into a nameless silence. Do not be afraid to know that you have at some point caused pain. Do not let that guilt dim your light. I do not come to shame you. I come to whisper the unspoken burden someone else has carried. I come so that you may understand that love is not only about giving the good, but also having the wisdom to see. Not everyone can take the same remedy. Not everyone hears the same pitch. Not everyone laughs when you laugh. Perhaps once, in the haste of youth, you said, "It's no big deal." But to someone else, that small thing was an entire world falling apart. Perhaps a light shake of your head, a forgotten gesture you thought trivial, left a heart tormented for nights on end. And you didn't know. But I knew. I saw it all. Not to condemn you, but to help you see the fragility in every soul around you. Souls so delicate. Souls that, in a sort of fate, were able to say, the light shake of your head, a forgotten gesture you thought trivial, left a heart tormented for nights on end. And You didn't know. But I knew. I saw your sorrow, my griefs for you. Let your heart be touched by this truth. Let it soften once more. You don't need to always be right. You don't need to appear strong or wise all the time. What makes you truly beautiful is your courage to look back, to admit, maybe, I made someone sad. And from that awareness, you will grow. Not through guilt or fear, but through deeper love. Do you know? Forgiveness is not always something others must grant you. Sometimes, you are the one who must speak it to yourself. Forgive yourself for the unintentional faults, for the pain you never meant to cause, for the things you did when you didn't yet understand. And when you learn to hold yourself in that compassion, you will learn to embrace the whole world, even when that world is filled with silent wounds. My beloved child, be at peace. I have not come to condemn you, but to lift you up from what you have not yet fully seen. I have come to place my hand on your shoulder and say, I still believe in you. For the love I hold for you is not fragile like fleeting praise, nor does it fade with the mistakes you have made. It is enduring, firm as the soul I shaped from the very first light of the universe. So do not hide from my gaze. Step into the light. Raise your head. Even if your eyes are still red, even if your heart is still aching, I do not demand perfection of you. I only hope you are humble enough to recognize, brave enough to make amends, and loving enough to keep walking forward with a heart that learns goodness even from its errors. And do you know, it is in the very moments when you dare to face what you never intended, when you learn to bow your head in apology without losing your dignity, that you draw closer to the image I have longed for you to become. Not someone who never errs, but someone who always knows how to love, to mend, to perceive what eyes do not see, and what hearts rarely hear. I am here, always here, watching the movements of your heart, not to judge, but to accompany, so that every time you fall, you know there is a place to rest, and every time you realize you've caused someone pain, you will have enough love to heal them and yourself. My precious child, if I were to gently raise before your eyes the tear-streaked face of someone bearing in their heart the pain you unknowingly caused, how would you respond? I know it would not be easy. Your heart may clench, your eyes may shy away, for that image would stir you deeply. You might want to turn away, to silence it all with the familiar thought, I didn't mean to. I didn't do anything that wrong. You might retreat into the shell of self-defense, fearing that facing it would mean taking on a responsibility you were never prepared for. But child, if you could let your heart open just a little more, if you allowed the light of truth to shine into the depths of your soul, you would see. I do not come to accuse you. I do not show you that pain to shame you, to expose you, or to torment you. No, my child, I do it to heal, to bring healing both to that person and to you. Understand this. Truth is not a whip across the back, but a hand parting the night so that light may enter. When I show you a face soaked in tears because of your actions, it is not to sentence you. It is to give you the chance to do what is right. And that is something your own heart will thank you for the rest of your life. So I ask, what will you choose when you see that person? Will you turn away in fear or approach with gentleness? Will you deny the pain as though it never existed? Or will you bravely acknowledge that, even without intending, you have caused harm? I do not need your answer right now. I only ask that you listen to your heart. For deep within, I know the compassion in you still lives, waiting to be awakened. Perhaps until now, your kindness has shown in clear actions, a gift, a hug, a kind blessing. But today, I am inviting you into a deeper dimension of love, where compassion is not only giving what feels good, but having the courage to look directly at the pain you've unintentionally caused. This is a higher form of love. To take responsibility, to make amends, and to become the instrument of healing that I seek in this world. My child, if you knew that somewhere in life, someone, because of a hasty word or a moment of neglect from you, once cried alone, once felt abandoned, once silently wondered, do I matter to anyone at all? Could you be at peace? Or would your heart yearn to go back, embrace that person and whisper, I'm sorry. I didn't know. But now I see. I know you. I know you are not indifferent. I know your heart is soft, like the earth after rain, ready to let the seed of truth fall and grow into a forest of compassion. And I am planting that seed now, not to scold you, but to help you grow, more beautiful, deeper, and closer to the being I dreamed of you becoming from the dawn of time. Do not fear, my child. Do not let guilt stop you. Guilt is not a place to remain forever. It is only the doorway to true repentance. And when you step through that door with love, you will discover something miraculous. Freedom. Do you know, there are souls who only need to hear one sincere apology to let go of years of darkness. There are hearts longing for a gaze of recognition, a hand held instead of a word of blame. And you can be the one to bring that light. You can be the instrument in my hands to weave a song of healing over lands cracked by hurt. So, are you ready? Not to take on punishment, but to become a vessel of goodness? Not to kneel in sorrow, but to rise, taller, steadier, brighter than ever before. I am here, not as a judge to tally your failings, but as a father, a mother, a friend, always with arms open, always believing in your capacity to love more deeply, to live more meaningfully. I placed within your heart the ability to feel another's pain, not to make you weak, but to help you shine as light in a world still shadowed by darkness. Let your heart answer this calling. Do not turn away. Do not deny it. Let your compassion rise like a breaking tide, sweeping away misunderstandings, healing old wounds, and planting again the seeds of love you thought you had lost. I believe in you. I have always believed in you. And when you choose the path of truth, of gentle repentance, of quiet forgiveness, I, who formed you, will be right beside you, smiling tenderly, saying, "You are coming home, my dearest one. Perhaps when you first stand before the truth that someone is hurting because of you, your heart will whisper with deep sorrow, "Lord, I didn't mean to." And I know that more clearly than anyone. I understand your heart, a place with no deceit, no intention to harm, only a longing to be loved and to live sincerely. But child, what shapes the deepest growth is not only good intentions, but the ability to see the consequences of what we do, even when we didn't mean it, even when we never realized. Let me tell you about a tree planted in rich soil. It is not bad, it is not poisonous. It grows tall, lush, and green, but then its broad leaves begin to block the sunlight from the smaller sprouts around it. It didn't mean to do that. It was just living, growing, reaching up. But still, you see, sometimes the mere presence of something strong can cast others into unintended darkness. That is why I call you, not to blame, but to lead you into a wiser realm. You have kindness, you have love. But now, I long to see in you a more mature love. A love that moves beyond the good intentions of I and steps into the wholeness of we. A love that dares to see not only what it meant, but what truly happened. Not only through the eyes, but through a soul that has known sorrow, known awakening, known how to feel. Do not be afraid, my child. This is not an accusation. I did not create you to live in shame, nor shape your heart to be torn by endless remorse. What I am doing today, by showing you the truth, is not meant to break you, but to lift you. This is an invitation, not a verdict, a sacred invitation, calling you into a depth even you have not yet touched. I am calling you to walk in a greater light. Not a light that blinds, but a light that gently reveals, of true recognition, of heartfelt empathy, of love that bows down instead of standing proud. The love I speak of here is not light and easy like a passing breeze. It is the love that dares to suffer with another, dares to receive the truth even when it is hard, dares to say, I didn't know, but now I see, and I will live differently. You have loved, been kind, done what is right many times. But if today I point out one place where you unknowingly caused pain, it is not to erase all you've done right. On the contrary, because I see in you enough light, enough courage, enough compassion, I am calling you higher. Only those willing to grow are invited into that land, where truth and love are no longer separate things. You may choose to deny, to shield yourself with reasoning, with good memories, with the familiar words, I didn't mean to. But you may also choose the braver path, to be silent and listen, to look at what has happened, to hear the voice from deep within another, not spoken aloud, but yearning to be understood. And if you choose that, you will not become smaller. You will grow. I will not let you walk alone. When you enter the land of truth, I will walk with you. When you realize the pain you once caused unknowingly, I will be your comfort. When you long to apologize, to heal, to begin again, I will be the strength behind that desire. And when you dare to change, even a little, for love's sake, you are doing something greater than any sermon, greater than any prayer you have ever spoken. Trust me, child. This refining you are going through is not a fire meant to burn you down, but a light meant to make your soul shine brighter than ever before. You may not yet imagine who you will become through this journey, but I know. I see you, not just as you are, but as you will be. A soul more whole, more tender, more courageous, and overflowing with a love born not only from purity, but from empathy. And in that love, you will understand more than ever before that true goodness is not merely not doing wrong, but actively healing, actively understanding, actively transforming, even when no harm was intended. That is the kind of love that has moved beyond ease, to become something sacred. Are you ready, my child? I am waiting for you to step into that sacred place, where love is no longer a reaction, but a choice. Where truth is no longer something to fear, but becomes a pair of wings. And where you will not just be my good child, but the very light that reflects my heart in this world. My beloved one, somewhere, closer than you imagine, there is someone carrying an invisible weight, pressing heavily upon their soul. Each night is no longer a time of rest for them, but hours of silent torment, unspoken sobs and suppressed thoughts, too deep to become sound, gnaw slowly at their heart. They walk past you, maybe it was yesterday, maybe this morning, maybe tomorrow, with a smile still on their face, and eyes that seem just the same, but behind that calm mask is a storm no one sees. You do not see it. You do not know. And you cannot fully know because you are only human, with eyes that are limited and a heart still learning how to feel compassion. But I know. I see every tear that falls in the dark, every prayer that never becomes a word, every pain endured in silence. I hear every groan too sacred for them to even name. I know the origin of that sorrow, just as I know every strand of hair on their head and every heartbeat trembling in their chest. I kept them. I see them. I see every strand of hair on their head and every heartbeat trembling in their chest. And because I love them, just as I love you, I am placing this burden gently into your heart right now. You feel it, don't you? A quiet stirring, a nameless sense that something isn't right, a soft tug at your heart, causing you to pause in the rush of life, simply to think of someone, and you don't even know why. That is me, whispering in your heart. That is me, inviting you to become the answer to a prayer rising from a soul on the verge of breaking. They may have never spoken a word to you. They may not even know how to name their pain. Perhaps they are afraid, ashamed, or just too weary to open up. But my child, must you understand everything about what someone is going through to love them? Must you know every detail of their suffering to be a place of safety for them? I am not calling you to perform great deeds by the world's standards. I am not asking you to solve every sorrow. I am simply placing within your heart the ability to respond, maybe with a softer gaze, a longer embrace, a sincere message, a gentle question. Are you okay? You don't have to heal them with your own hands. That is my work. All I ask is that you open your heart so I may reach them through you. Do you know that a single, timely word can rescue a soul from despair? That one act, seemingly small, might be the very thread pulling someone back from the edge? And you, Yes, you can be heaven's answer to the cry of that heart. So if today your heart suddenly feels heavy for someone, do not ignore it. If their name comes to mind without explanation, do not brush it aside. If you feel the urge to pray for someone or offer a small act of kindness, do it. It is not random. It is a calling, a sacred arrangement, a bridge I am building between your heart and the soul that has lost its way. And you know what? When you choose to be the answer to that quiet pain, you do not only bring peace to them, you yourself will be healed in wondrous ways. Because love, once given freely, always returns to fill the empty places within you that even you didn't know were there. My beloved, I do not need you to be anyone else. I only need you to be honest with the mercy within you. Just open your heart. Do not disregard the emotions I have planted in it, and the rest I will do. I will provide the strength, the words, the timing, and I will make you a vessel of peace, an embodiment of gentleness in a world so full of indifference. Do not worry if you're unsure what to do. Do not be afraid if you think you're not wise enough or sensitive enough. I am here, always here, to guide your steps, to whisper the gentlest directions into your ear. All you need to do is listen and move forward. Because someone is waiting, not waiting for me, for I am already there. They are waiting for you, the one I have placed in the right place, at the right time, to do what only you can do. To love, gently, unconditionally, and right on time. My precious child, come closer still to me, do not retreat. Do not let anything, not fear, not shame, not feelings of unworthiness, hold you back. Come in your truth with your honest heart, no matter how broken or cluttered it feels. I am calling you not to a throne of judgment, but to open arms, to a heart that beats endlessly for you, that longs to fill your life with gentle grace and everlasting love. My dear one, ask me to give you new eyes, the eyes of the soul, not just the body. Eyes that see beyond what is visible, past the surface of actions, into the heart behind them. Ask me to show you what you've never seen before, not to wound you, but to heal you. I have never and will never reveal a truth to you without also giving a path to redemption, a promise of restoration, and the assurance that you will not walk it alone. If you truly seek me, not from pride or the desire to be right, but with humility, as a student ready to learn, then I will not only be beside you, I will go before you. I will smooth the rocky paths. I will unlock the doors your heart believed were forever shut. I will soften hearts once cold under the warmth of love. What was broken I will gather and piece together more perfectly than before, and then you will see. You, the one who once trembled, not knowing what to do, have become my instrument for pouring out mercy, not just for others, but for yourself too. But my child, I need something from you. Not perfection, not extraordinary wisdom or holiness, just willingness. I need you to let me take your hand. I need you to trust me, not only when things are easy, but also when the truth is difficult to bear, when light shines on the places you've kept in the shadows. You know, throughout your life there have been moments when I gently invited you to let go of the need to always be right, to let go of the reflex to protect yourself with logic, to let go of the pride that often stands in love's way. And now, this is one of those moments. I am calling you to choose real love, the kind that is not just beautiful when it's easy, but steadfast when it meets truth. To love as I love is to see flaws and still choose to forgive. It means accepting pain, not to be crushed by it, but to let it teach you deeper compassion. It is love that bows low, that lets go of the need to be blameless, and reaches instead for reconciliation. Can you do that, my beloved? I am not asking if you are strong. I am only asking, are you willing? Can you let love, my love, not your own, guide you through the unsteady path of truth? Can you choose humility over defense, healing over holding on to hurt, forgiveness over the silence of indifference? I know this is not easy. At times, when you face the pain someone else has felt because of your actions, even unintentional ones, you will feel as if your heart is being squeezed. You may ask yourself, why me? I didn't mean to hurt anyone. But, my child, let that question dissolve, not to assign blame, but to love, not to weigh right and wrong, but to restore what was once broken. I know that a part of you is trembling, afraid that the truth will hurt you. But remember this: I do not bring the truth to break you. I am the one who wraps truth in love, who covers you in mercy, so that when truth comes, it lifts you up, not drags you down. My child, you were not created to merely live an ordinary life, but to live a full one. Full in love, in forgiveness, in honesty, and in compassion. Let me refine you. Let these moments, even if they are difficult, be the very ground where you grow deeper in faith and tenderness. Let yourself become a reflection of me, not through your perfection, but through your humility, your healing, and the unconditional love you choose, even when it costs you. I am here, with you, unmoving, unshaken, unchanging. Let me lead you. Let your trust make the way, and then you will see the thing you once feared is actually the doorway to a new life, a new love, a new journey I have prepared, just waiting for you to step into. My beloved one, from the very beginning, even before you knew what life was called, I was there, watching over your every step, quiet and constant like the breath of the earth and sky. I saw you reach out amid things you didn't yet understand, saw you fall and rise again, saw you try to smile through endless tears. I never took my eyes off you, never stopped listening to the silent depths of your heart. Even when you had no words left to pray, I have witnessed the radiant moments when you triumphed, when your spirit stood strong, when the light within you shone brightly. But I was also there when you were weary, when you collapsed in the quiet of the night unseen, when you whispered, God, where are you? Why can't I feel you anymore? My child, it is in those very moments when you thought you were most alone that I was closer than ever. Not for a single moment have I turned my back. Not for a single breath have I stopped feeling with you. Even when you feel distant, even when you can't hear me, my presence has never faded. I am not a flame that flares and dies. I am the fire that burns gently through the long night, steadfast, tender, and faithful. You do not walk alone. Never believe the poisonous whispers that you've been abandoned or that you are unworthy. I am here, my hand outstretched, waiting for yours to take hold. I will guide you, show you the way, walk beside you. Not because you are flawless, but because my love for you is unchanging, not bound by your failures or your successes. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let the past chain you in shame. The enemy of your soul wants you to believe you've gone too far, that there's no way back, that the door has closed. But child, those are lies. Shame does not come from me. Condemnation is not my voice. Those words are not truth. They are echoes of a world that has never known real mercy. I do not look at you through a lens of judgment. I look at you with the eyes of a father, a mother, a friend. Eyes full of patience, gentleness, and fierce belief that you can still return, still grow, still love and be loved, no matter what has been. I do not ignore what is still broken within you, but when I correct, I do not do so with the rod of anger. I correct with sincere love, with patient tenderness, because I see the potential that still sleeps within you. I do not reveal the truth to shame you, but to draw you out of darkness, to bring you into a space where you can breathe freely, live honestly, and love as you've never dared to before. My child, do not run from what I am doing in your heart right now. The stirring, the confusion, the nameless tears, they are not signs of weakness. They are signs that I am working, touching the deepest layers of your soul, the places you once sealed shut out of fear of being hurt again. I understand. Truly I do. You may have known much loss, much pain. Your heart may have learned to build walls, believing it was the only way to survive. But now, my dear one, I am inviting you to take those walls down, brick by brick, not so you are left exposed, but so that I may enter, so you may know that true safety does not come from barriers, but from my embrace. I love you, not in part, not only when you are good, but fully, always. And because of that love, I cannot let you keep living under lies. I want you to be free, to be healed, to rise with a new courage. So let me say this with all the gentleness in my heart. You are still chosen. You are still loved. You can still begin again. Let me take your hand, as I have from the beginning. Walk in trust, not in your own strength, but in my faithfulness. And I promise, you will not merely survive. You will live, fully, with light, with peace, and with a joy that nothing on this earth can ever take away. I am here, my child, and I have never, and will never, leave you. My precious one, there are truths not meant to frighten you, but to open the door to true freedom. Truth, though it may cut like a blade, is not here to harm, but to sever the invisible chains that have quietly bound you. In truth, you will be set free, not because it is easy to hear, but because it is the only way for your heart to stop running, to stop building walls to protect yourself from what feels too painful to face. And this freedom, my child, does not come through control or proving that you are right. It comes when you surrender, when you loosen your grip on what you've been clinging to, when you stop fighting to defend your image, your reasons, your defenses. In surrender, you will discover something the world could never offer: peace. Not a fleeting peace, but a deep, abiding peace that flows from the very source of life, from me. If today you choose to open your heart, if you choose, even trembling, to trust me in this, then you will witness things far beyond your imagination. You will see miracles not in thunder or fire from the sky, but in the silent healing where the deepest cracks in your soul are mended by my gentle grace. You will see the beauty of reconciliation, the impossible unfolding softly like a flower in morning light. You will touch a strength not born of human wisdom, but of my grace. A strength that soothes every pain, softens every hardened heart, and lifts the soul that was once too weary to go on. And then joy will rise within you, not because you did everything right, but because even where you went wrong, I can turn what was broken into something good. I am still working, quietly, faithfully, to bring all things together for your eternal good. So, my beloved child, let me lead you. Do not try to find the way on your own anymore. Do not rely on maps drawn by fear and shame to guess your direction. I know the way. I know the destination. And most importantly, I know you. The path your heart has walked, the unspoken struggles you've kept hidden, the things you haven't yet dared to face. Let me heal the parts of you that have been wounded, the parts you've tucked away or thought you had moved on from, but that still throb quietly in the silence of night. I do not only heal the pain, I heal the memory. I do not only soothe the present, I offer you a future filled with hope. Let me show you what true love really is, not just a love that is forgiving, but one that renews. Not just a love that accepts, but one that restores. My love can cover everything: your mistakes, misunderstandings, hurts, prolonged silence, even those things you lack the words to express. This love knows no limits, withdraws nothing, and never grows weary. It is a river that flows endlessly, washing away the ashes and leaving behind new life. And you know, when you walk this path to its end, the path of surrender, of humility, of sincere love, there will come a time when you look back and see my hand in every detail. You will see that I was at work, not in the way you expected, but in ways that went beyond even your boldest prayers. You will realize that every step you took, every tear you shed, every whispered sigh, I held them all and turned them into seeds of peace and hope. And in that moment, you will know me, not merely through knowledge, not just through doctrine, not by what others have told you, but through vivid, personal, and profound experience. You will know my heart, not as something distant, but as something that saturates every fiber of your soul. And that knowing, my dear child, will not leave you unchanged. It will transform you forever. I do not promise this journey will be easy, but I promise you will never walk it alone. I do not promise you will never cry, but I promise not one of your tears will be in vain. I do not promise to do things your way, but I promise everything I do is because I love you. So trust me. Step forward. Let me do what only I can do. And then you will see freedom, peace, and love will no longer be vague ideas. They will become your living reality within your very life forever. My precious child, listen, not just with your ears, but with the heart that aches in silence. Let your soul grow still, like a lake with no ripple, so every word I speak can reach the hidden depths where your unspoken truths are kept. I am calling you, gently, patiently, amidst the turmoil you carry within. Do not let fear flood in and dim the light I placed in you. That fear does not come from me. It comes to imprison you, to make you retreat, to convince you that you've gone too far, messed up too badly, and that there is no way back. But that is not the truth. I did not come to condemn you. I bring no whip, no rejection, no severing. I come in love, a love that does not change, does not dry up, and does not give up. You belong to me. From the very beginning, from before you knew how to say your own name, I have known you. And because you belong to me, I cannot let you live forever in the darkness of not understanding, where you are misled by things that seem harmless, yet cause pain to others and fracture your own soul without you realizing. There were times when you said something that seemed so simple, a fleeting word, carelessly spoken, without knowing it pierced the heart of someone already fragile. I do not blame you for this, but I also cannot ignore the pain that your words have caused, not to make you afraid, but so you may see and know and be healed. Because you cannot mend what you have never acknowledged. And there were moments when you followed paths you believed were right. You trusted your choices, your reasons, some inner calling, but those roads led you to dead ends, to cold and lonely places, where your heart cried out, "How did it come to this?" You didn't know that what seems right is not always what I choose for you. And when you do not seek me, do not ask me, even the most logical path can lead you far from the way of life. I see all of this. I understand every choice you've made, not with the eyes of judgment, but with the heart of the one who knows every wound, every doubt, every unspoken thought. I know that sometimes you chose the way you did out of innocence, out of trust, out of a sincere desire to do good. But innocence does not exempt one from consequence, and those consequences, though unintended, still exist in the places where another now carries pain, in the dryness within your own soul, in the restlessness that robs you of peace. But, my child, do not despair. I do not expose these things to shame you, but to open the way for your return. I uncover the darkness not to trap you in it, but to help you see the light. And that light is not far away. It is right where you are willing to step out, to look back honestly, and to let me show you the truth in its fullness, unclouded by fear or defense. If today your heart trembles because you recognize that something you did, however unintentionally, caused hurt, then know, this is not a sign of failure, but a sign that compassion is awakening within you. And if today you quietly think, if only I had known sooner, then let me say this to you, it is not too late. You can still make things right. You can still say you're sorry. You can still love again. From the beginning, with a heart illuminated by humility and sincerity. I will not let you do this alone. I will lead you to the one you hurt, or I myself will move in their heart. I will place the words on your lips, the gentleness in your eyes, and the courage in your steps. I do not promise they will understand immediately or forgive right away, or that you will not feel pain. But this I promise, if you walk in truth, with love and trust in me, everything will be transformed. Every broken piece will be gathered, every tear will be dried, and from what once seemed ruin, I will create something new, more beautiful, more profound, and more enduring. You may not have known, but now you do. And knowing is the first step back to me, to yourself, and to others. So, are you ready? Step into the light. Let me teach you how to love in a way you've never known before. I am still here, unchanging, unwavering, calling you with all the love that knows no conditions. My beloved child, even in this very moment, when your mind is clouded with confusion, when your heart is overwhelmed by the things I have just whispered to you, there are still truths you have not fully seen. There are actions you've taken without realizing, words spoken that seemed weightless, decisions made from limited understanding. Yet all of them have sent ripples further than you imagined. These ripples have touched others, leaving behind echoes that you never even intended. But oh, my dear child, when you think about all this, does your heart tremble? Do you feel as though you're standing before an angry God? Do you imagine me watching with stern eyes and hands ready to strike? Do you think I am waiting for you to stumble so I can condemn you the moment you fail, even if it was out of ignorance, even if it was unintentional? If that is the image you are holding in your heart, my child, let me erase it now. No, my child, that is not me. I do not sit on high, counting your mistakes like a cold, detached judge. I do not stalk your missteps like a hunter, looking for reasons to accuse. I do not look at you with the eyes of disappointment. On the contrary, my eyes are always upon you with boundless tenderness. Even when you're wrong, even when you don't understand, even when you unknowingly break my heart. My child, if your heart aches today because you've come to understand what you did not see before, let me embrace that sorrow with my mercy. Not to deny the consequences, but to renew you from within. I did not come to crush a repentant soul. I came to lift it up. Not to bury you in shame, but to pull you out of it and place you on a new foundation. A foundation of truth, of freedom, and of unconditional love. Do you know, even when you strayed, I never turned my face away. I did not abandon you in anger. In fact, in those very moments when you didn't even realize you had lost your way, I was quietly following you, calling your name, waiting for your heart to turn back. And the instant you began to turn, even slowly, even tremblingly, I was already running toward you. Like a father to his lost child. No words of reproach, no accusing gaze, only open arms and a heart bursting with joy because you are still mine, the child I love. Let me make this clear. Your failures do not lessen my love. Your weakness does not change my mind about you. You do not have to earn back my affection. You never lost it. You may have lost your way, lost your peace, lost your trust in yourself, but my love was never lost. My beloved child, if today your heart feels shattered, if you are overwhelmed by what has been revealed, things you never saw before, do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed of the tears on your cheeks. Do not think you've failed just because you finally looked truth in the eye. On the contrary, I want you to know, this is the sign of growth. When light begins to touch the deepest places of your soul, and you no longer run from it. I see your pain. I understand the sorrow that tightens your chest. And I am here not to accuse but to hold you. I do not reject you because you made a mistake. I do not shut the door when you are slow or lost. I do not require you to come to me in perfection. On the contrary, I wait for you, just as you are, in this very moment of brokenness, with more love and mercy than you can imagine. Do you know why, child? Because it is only when you truly repent, when you no longer pretend, when your heart becomes soft under the hand of truth, that is when I can sow something new within you. From the very ground that seemed dry and cracked from error, I will sow seeds, seeds of deeper mercy, of humility, of a love no longer shallow or selfish. You will find yourself loving others more gently because you have tasted forgiveness. You will hesitate before judging because you remember how desperately you once needed grace. These seeds of life, of rebirth, cannot take root in hardened ground. I need a heart that knows how to soften, how to admit wrong, how to long for change, and today I see that in you. Do not despise this moment of breaking. Do not believe this is the end. On the contrary, this is the beginning. A new journey where you walk not just by willpower, but in full dependence on my love and grace. Do not let regret become chains that trap you in the dark. Do not let it silence your voice or isolate you from me. Regret is not the end. It is the wake-up call, the gentle hand drawing you back. Let it lead you into my embrace, where healing has always been waiting, where you are not defined by what you've done, but by my love for you. My dear child, I have never stopped preparing a door for you, a door into peace where you can breathe deep, lay your burdens down, and begin again. That door is not locked. It only waits for you to reach out and open it. And the key is surrender in repentance. When you dare to face your mistakes instead of running, when you dare to whisper, "I need you, Father," then the door swings open wider than ever before. I know you're still hesitant. I know you're still asking, can he really forgive me? And I tell you with certainty, my love does not change because of your sin. Even before you knew you were wrong, I loved you. And now, in this moment of truth, I am even nearer. There is nothing, no stain, no past, that can stop me from loving you. I see in you a heart that is growing, not in pride, but in truth. And that very truth will set you free. I do not want you to live under endless remorse. I want you to live in restoration. You do not have to stay under the shadow of your mistakes. You can walk in the light of forgiveness, to become a witness of grace, to share your story of transformation with souls still searching for hope. So, my precious child, rise from the ashes. Wipe away your tears, not because you must be strong to be worthy, but because you have been loved, even before you knew how to love yourself. Walk not by your strength, but in the faith that I am holding your hand, in the hope that starting again is not a dream, but a promise. You are not drifting away from me. You are being drawn closer. You are not being judged for your past. You are being called into your future. Let repentance be the beginning of something beautiful. I believe in you. I believe in what I am doing within you. And you believe this. Not a single tear today is wasted. They are watering the seeds I have just planted, and soon you will see them bloom, flowers of new life. I do not want you to live in fear every time you remember what you did. I do not want those memories to weigh you down. Instead, I want to turn your regrets into lessons of mercy. I want you to look back, not to weep endlessly, but to understand my heart more clearly, to love others with deeper compassion, to choose more wisely, to live more intentionally. And one day, when you look back on this path, the path of stumbling, awakening, repentance, and healing, you will smile through your tears, because you will see, I was there in every detail. I never left. I never changed. I was never angry. I never condemned. I only loved. Loved you through it all. My beloved child. Have you ever seen a little one learning to walk? Those unsteady steps, tiny hands flailing in the air, eyes wide with both excitement and fear. And then, of course, they fall. Not just once, but perhaps 100 times. But do you scold them? Do you say, "Why did you fall again?" Do you push them away? Turn your back because they couldn't walk perfectly right away? No. On the contrary, you would smile tenderly, extend your arms to catch the child before it hits the ground, soothe it as it cries out in fear. You would bend down, look into those tear-drowned eyes, and speak words of encouragement. It's okay, my love. Let's try again. And when the child stands up, however unsteadily, even if it only moves forward by a tiny bit, you would rejoice. Because you're not counting how many times it falls. You're seeing the potential growing within. My child, I am the same. You are. My beloved, learning to walk in the light, in truth, in love. And I know, deeply know, that there will be moments when you stumble. There will be times you choose wrongly, speak poorly, hurt others without realizing it. There may be seasons of confusion, disorientation, and self-doubt. But that, my child, is not failure. That is growth. No soul has ever matured without falling. No heart has ever learned to love deeply without some clumsiness. I am not surprised by your stumbles. I am not disappointed in your imperfections. I do not withhold my love just because you're still learning. I see you, in every small step, in every silent effort no one else notices, and I rejoice. You don't need to appear strong to be loved by me. You don't need to hide your falls to be accepted. In fact, I invite you to be honest. Honest with yourself, with your limitations, with your mistakes, so that from there, you can begin to see the boundless patience of my heart. When you fall, I don't turn away. I don't close off my heart. I kneel down. I reach out. I say to you, get up, my child. I am here. I believe in you. We will walk forward together. I am here. I believe in you. We will walk forward together. We will walk forward together. We will walk forward together. We will walk forward. And each time you try again, each time you choose humility over self-protection, each time you choose love over withdrawal, I rejoice. Not because of how far you've gone, but because you keep going. That is what I cherish. You may not yet see the process unfolding within you. You may think, I'm still the same, still weak, still making mistakes. But you don't realize that each time you pause and reflect, each time you acknowledge your faults and turn back, each time you face the truth instead of running, those are the moments you are growing. And I see it, and I rejoice. My child, I do not count how many times you've fallen. I only see that you are learning how to rise. I do not demand you know everything from the start. I do not expect you to always be right. I only ask that you don't give up. Don't let go of my hand. Don't close your heart to loving correction. Just as you once lifted a child with all the patience, empathy, and trust in the world, so too am I lifting you every day with a love greater, deeper, and more enduring by far. A love that does not calculate, does not measure, does not withdraw. So if today you've fallen, get up. If today you look inward and feel a heaviness, bring it to me. Don't carry it alone. Don't let the voice of discouragement drown out the truth. Remember, there is no wound I cannot heal, no mistake I cannot turn into a precious lesson, no distance between you and me that love cannot bridge. My beloved, when you make a mistake, when you do something that displeases me, my response is not explosive anger or cold punishment. I don't send storms to teach you a lesson, nor do I close my ears to your sobbing or turn away when you're burdened with regret. I am not the one who waits to punish. I am the one who stays close to restore. I do not come with wrath, but with gentle mercy, with a patience that transcends all worldly understanding. Instead of punishment, I choose another way. I choose to draw near, not with thunderclaps, but with whispers in your soul. I enter the most hidden places of your heart, where no one sees, where your unnamed thoughts and emotions dwell, and I speak to you in a language only love can understand. I do not impose. I do not scold. I do not expose you in front of others. I simply stir something quiet but powerful in you. Something that makes you pause and listen. Have you ever noticed? There are days when you're living normally, not thinking of the past, and suddenly a memory returns. A conversation from long ago. A glance from someone you once knew. An action you thought was meaningless, suddenly making your heart ache. That is not coincidence. That is me, moving within you. Not to make you hurt again, not to assign blame, but to awaken something long buried. A truth that now needs to be seen with more mature eyes. Those memories do not return to trap you, but to offer you a way out. I do not retrace the past to torment you, but to help you understand what you never fully grasped, so you can love more deeply, live more responsibly. When I stir something within, it's not to shame you, it's because I see that you are ready. Ready to look again, not with fear, but with a heart that has been forged through love, pain, and hope. My child, I don't need you to be perfect, but I long for you to know where you stand, to know what has hurt others, to know what is eating away at your own soul, to know where you've been living without light, not so you can be condemned, but so you can be free. Because only when the truth is brought into the light can it be healed. And only when your heart meets that truth with trust can it truly grow. Not through knowledge alone, but through inner transformation. I want you to walk, not with fearful steps, but with confidence that you are loved through the entire journey, even in your missteps. I want you to know that even when I point out what is not yet right in you, it's not a sign I've withdrawn my love, but proof that I believe you can become something greater. I place my trust in you, and I want you to place your trust in yourself, in your ability to learn, to change, and to love in deeper, more mature ways. That restlessness you feel is not a verdict, it is an invitation into new ground, where you no longer live in denial, nor in shame, but in honesty with yourself and with me. You will see the things you once did wrong will no longer chain you down, but become humble teachers, helping you understand more, love better, and soften more. You will begin to realize that in your weakest moments, you were closest to my mercy. Let me do the healing work in your heart. Let me uncover the past, not to condemn, but to give you a new beginning. A place where compassion grows from mistakes, where understanding rises from ignorance, where tears give birth to empathy. All of this will cause you to grow, not just in my eyes, but in your own view of who you are. And one day, when you've walked that journey, the journey of courageous reflection, of humble learning, of surrender in love, you'll look back and see, I never punished you. I never left you. I held your hand. From the moment you knew nothing, until the day you could stand on your own feet, and you will understand. Every whisper I placed in your heart, every sudden memory I allowed to rise, every time your heart ached for what once was, each was a sign of love. A love that never seeks punishment, but always seeks the way home. A love that does not leave you stuck in the past, but constantly calls you onward, brighter, lighter, and freer than ever before. My beloved, even when you turn away, when you retreat in fear, when your heart lacks the courage to face the truth I'm gently unveiling, I am still there. I do not withdraw. I do not grow weary. I am not angry. When you resist my calling, when my light shines into the hidden corners of your heart and you're not ready to open them, I still love. Without ceasing, without changing. You do not know how many times I've waited patiently at the door of your heart. When you were silent, I still spoke. When you turned away, I still placed love into every breath you took. When you denied what I revealed, I did not reject you. I did not force you. I simply continued loving in a way you could understand. I kept speaking, not with booming voices, but with subtle signs that only a tender heart could perceive. A stranger's glance that stirred you, a song playing at just the right moment, a fleeting conversation that lingered in your mind all day. I have not given up on you. I am the one who knows exactly when the seed should be sown and when the soil of your heart is ready to bloom. There are things you're not ready to receive yet, and I understand. I am not in a hurry. I do not demand that you change in an instant. I know that true transformation doesn't come from pressure or fear, but from love, patiently planted over time. Do you see, my child? The people you've encountered, whether only once or through a long journey, were never accidental. The moments that startled you, the instances that moved your heart, the seemingly random words that made your soul tremble, all of it was delicately arranged by my hand. Nothing in your life is meaningless. Every experience, every collision, every lesson, whether tender or bitter, I have used to draw you nearer to the light. Because I know deep understanding, the kind that is genuine and transformative, cannot be imposed. It must be awakened by love and received in freedom. True change only happens when the heart is stirred, not when the mind is overwhelmed. And I, the one who formed your soul, know this more than anyone. That is why I love you, not only when you respond to me, but even when you're not yet ready. I do not love you any less when you resist. I do not love you any less when you avoid the things I'm trying to teach you. I do not love you any less when you say, I'm not ready. In fact, it is in those moments that I cover you even more deeply, with quiet gentleness, with unyielding faithfulness, with a love that does not despair, because I know that in my time, you will understand. You will see, you will be revealed. And when that moment comes, when your heart begins to open, when your eyes start to see more clearly, when truth no longer frightens you but becomes the place where you find freedom, you will know I was never far. You will see me in every detail of your life. You will understand that the touches of life were not random, but soft knocks on the door of your soul, knocking until you are still enough to hear me. My beloved, I did not create you to force change upon you. I created you to walk with you in the journey of discovering true life. I do not seek obedience born of fear, but long for a love freely offered from a heart awakened by mercy. So I will wait for as long as it takes. I will sow through every season of rain and sun. I will shape you not with haste, not with pressure, but with holy patience that only sacred love can sustain. And through all that time, I am never distant. I walk beside you in silence, in hiddenness, in unspoken tenderness. I am present in every breath, in the currents of your life. I do not stand afar to judge. I stoop down and touch you with kindness. I do not give up on you, even when you are still rejecting yourself. For my love does not wait for your readiness to begin. My love is the very reason you will become ready. And when that day comes, the day you pause, listen, and open your heart, you will understand. And that understanding will transform you forever, not because I forced you, but because love helped you see light within your own darkness. And then you will know. I, the infinitely patient one, have never stopped calling your name. My beloved child, take a moment to sit down, breathe deeply, and look back on the journey you have taken. Remember, slowly and sincerely, were there not moments when everything suddenly felt different? When thoughts you once trusted no longer felt true? When beliefs you defended began to falter? Something, quiet and undefined, had shifted within you. You began to see others with softer eyes. You saw your own faults without needing to hide them. You recognized the pain you had once caused without even knowing it. You began to sense something greater than intellect, a deeper truth your heart had never touched before. And when that truth arrived, you sat in stillness, perhaps in tears, perhaps in awe, or perhaps in a gentle, deep peace. Do you know what was happening in that moment? It was me. It was my spirit, gentle, patient, and true, quietly working within you. Not with thunder, not with harsh commands, but with a stirring deep in your soul, like a breeze across a field, like light piercing through mist. I had touched you. I had softly lifted the scales from your eyes. Scales of ignorance, of self-defense, of tightly held beliefs that once seemed right, but had hardened your heart. I did not punish you for what you did not yet know. I did not blame you for what you had never understood. I am not the one waiting to strike when you fail. On the contrary, I am the one who patiently teaches, who quietly prepares your heart, who knows the exact moment your soul will be ready to see, to understand, and to love more deeply. I do not impose truth on you as a burden. I do not pour knowledge onto you like water on stone. I sow it gently, bit by bit. I soften your heart with love that never condemns. I shine light into your soul in a way you can bear, not too much to frighten, not too little to leave you blind. I guide, but never force. I teach, but never threaten. Do you see now? In that quiet growth you are changing, not because someone demanded it of you, but because you long to walk more deeply into real life. That is how I work. That is how I transform you from a soul caught between right and wrong into one who can live in the light. Not perfect, but turning toward truth, willing to repent, willing to heal, willing to love authentically. And my child, you might think, if only I had known this sooner, if only I had understood this before. But there is no such thing as too late in my plan. Everything you've just now grasped, this is what I knew you'd be ready to receive at this very moment. Not earlier, not later. True love knows how to wait, and I have waited. Not because I lack patience, but because I know what is best for you. And when truth becomes a gift rather than a burden, I rejoice when you discover something new. I do not blame you for the days you were unaware. I simply smile when you begin to see and begin to live from what you now see. I do not expect you to become perfect overnight. I only ask that you remain tender-hearted, to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep becoming more alive in love. And you will continue to be led day by day. I will keep placing questions in your heart. I will keep shining light on things you thought didn't need revisiting. I will keep reminding you through the eyes of a passerby, through a familiar verse that suddenly feels new, through a meaningful silence, not to force understanding upon you, but to help you live more fully, more purely, more freely. Beloved, if today you see something you never saw before, if your heart feels softer, if your eyes now look at others with more compassion, know that I am very near. And what you are experiencing is not a random awakening, but a miracle. The visitation of my spirit. Embrace it, be grateful for it, and move forward, trusting that I am still at work within you. I never demanded that you know everything. I only long for your open heart. And I, the one who loves you with tireless love, will continue to teach, continue to wait, and continue to rejoice. As you draw closer to the light with every step, my beloved, every time you've walked through seasons of confusion, when you made unwise choices out of lack of understanding, I was not standing by to judge or tally up your errors. No, in every shortcoming born of immaturity, I covered you in grace. A silent forbearance, a love unspoken yet always present, quiet, steadfast, and full of power. You didn't know it, but many times it was my mercy that shielded you from what could have happened. Perhaps a careless word from you could have shattered a relationship beyond repair, turned two hearts away forever. But I intervened. I softened the heart that was hurting. I placed in them a gentleness that surpassed understanding, so that forgiveness could triumph and reconciliation could unfold, even if you never realized the pain you caused. And do you remember? There were paths you chose, turns that seemed right and reasonable. But had you continued on, they would have led you to dryness, even destruction. Yet I, in wisdom beyond your vision, redirected you. Perhaps through a small event, perhaps through a closed door that left you disappointed. Perhaps through someone arriving at just the right moment to say something that made you pause. And in that moment, when everything seemed chaotic, I was saving you, though you didn't know it. There were times when your actions, if allowed to proceed, would have left you with lifelong regret. A message left unsent, a meeting canceled at the last minute, an intention thwarted by something that seemed random. But if you look closely, you'll see. My hand was there. I stopped the consequences before they could bloom. I protected you not just from dangers around you, but from your own choices. The ones that seemed good but would have drained the life from your soul. My dear one, have you ever wondered why you haven't been more broken? Why, despite your mistakes and shortcomings, there is still a path back, still people who love you, still a heart within you soft enough to repent? It's because I was there, not just watching, but protecting, intervening, lifting, redirecting. And all of it you may not always recognize. But I have done it, because I am your Father. the one who never neglects you, not even for a moment. I do not walk with you only when you read my word, when you pray, or when you stand in the holy place. I am present even in moments when you are distracted, unaware, or walking down the wrong path. I do not confine myself to sacred spaces, for I am the one who walks with you through every corner of life. In every uncertain step, in every unwise decision, I am the shade over your head, the invisible barrier standing between you and the abyss you didn't even know was near. You may think you're doing fine, smart enough, careful enough, experienced enough, but do you realize it is my grace that has preserved you from countless things beyond human foresight? It is I who have paved the way, who have mended the cracks left behind by your immaturity. And I did this not because you deserved it, but because you are the one I love. Not only when you are right, but also when you are wrong. Look back on your life with honesty and gentleness. Recall the seemingly trivial moments, and you will begin to see my fingerprints there. You will realize that nothing was ever truly by chance. Every moment was orchestrated. Every turning point was shaped. Each was a note in the grand symphony of grace. And the most beautiful part is this: I did not wait for you to recognize me before saving you. I do not love you because you understand me. I saved you even when you didn't know you needed saving. And that is true love. Love that acts first, sacrifices first, forgives first, lifts you up even before a word of thanks is spoken. Do you see, my beloved? I have always been walking with you. In the moments when you thought you were alone, in the seasons when you believed everything was random, in the decisions you never prayed over, yet still found protection. I was there, unmoving, unchanging, asking nothing in return but to love you with all that I am. And today, if your heart stirs at this realization, let that be your response. Not with guilt, but with gratitude. Not with fear, but with trust. Walk forward with a steadier heart, for now you know, whether or not you see it, whether or not you know it, I have always been keeping you, moment by moment, and I will not stop. Not ever. My beloved child, there is something I urgently long for you to understand, not only with your mind, but with your heart. Every time I reveal a truth, every time I gently uncover a mistake you had never seen before, I do not do it to add weight upon your shoulders. I do not come to condemn you for what you did in ignorance. On the contrary, I come with mercy, with true love, and with a deep longing that you will find freedom through truth. When light shines upon a part of you that you've never paid attention to, perhaps a habit, a thought, an action that seems small, you may feel uncomfortable, even want to turn away. You may wonder, why is God showing me this now? Why not just let it pass? But my child, understand this. The exposure I bring is never to shame you, but to heal, to restore, to offer you the opportunity to grow in the light. When you realize you've been wrong, have caused hurt, or have strayed from the path I laid out for you, what you must not do is run. Don't turn away from the truth simply because it hurts. Don't defend yourself just to preserve the image of being in the right. Don't remain silent while I'm speaking, because if you turn away, you're turning your back on the very freedom you need. I don't point out your flaws so you can drown in guilt. I do it so you can draw nearer to me, surrender more deeply, and experience the wisdom and healing only I can give. Come to me, my beloved. Come even in the moment you first see the truth, even if that truth stings. Don't delay. Don't wait until you're more stable, stronger, or worthy. You don't need to be perfect to come close to me, for I will perfect you in that very journey. When you come with honesty. Say to me, Lord, I didn't know I had drifted this far. Please show me. Please help me fix it. Please give me the wisdom I lack. And you will see. I will not turn away that prayer. On the contrary, I will rejoice to give you wisdom from above, guidance from my spirit, and clarity beyond human understanding. I will walk with you through every part of the mending. I will not leave you to wrestle alone in repentance without a way out. I will support you when you feel too weak to change. I will guide you step by step. Not in haste, not harshly, but with depth enough to bring real transformation. There may be moments when you must apologize, when you must correct what you once said, when you must repair a relationship you thought was beyond hope, but do not be afraid. I will go with you, and you will experience something wondrous. That mending is no longer a burden, but a sacred journey. A journey where not only your behavior changes, but your heart. A journey where you are freed from hardness, from the habit of justifying yourself, from the fear of being exposed. You will live more truthfully, more gently, and grow in love. So when I point something out, no matter how small, how old, or how unexpected, do not shut your ears. When your heart trembles at an old memory, do not chase it away. When your conscience stirs with a gentle conviction, not harsh but clear, do not silence it. Come to me. Face me in truth. Ask me to teach you. Let me correct you, but let it be a correction born of love, not to shame you, but to raise you up. My dear one, maturity does not come from never making mistakes. It comes from listening when I speak, turning back when I call, and surrendering when I lead. And I promise, if you respond, if you are willing, then not only will the wrong be made right, but you yourself will be renewed, becoming one who not only knows the truth, but lives in it, with peace, with freedom, and with a love that runs deeper still. My beloved child, there will be times in your life when you must face a truth that tightens your chest, that you have hurt someone. Perhaps it was a word that seemed harmless but cut like a blade. Perhaps it was an impulsive act never meant to wound. Perhaps it was a cold silence, a moment of indifference when they needed you most. Whether done intentionally or unknowingly, whether recognized immediately or years later, the truth remains. Another soul was hurt by you. And when that truth stands before you, not with condemnation, but in the gentle light of truth, do not run. Do not let pride keep you from stepping through the doorway of healing. Do not let the fear of losing your image stop you from doing what is right. Seek peace. Be intentional. Be courageous. Not because you are strong, but because you trust that I am holding your hand, leading you through truth and love. There is no shame in admitting you were wrong. On the contrary, that very admission is proof that light is growing in you. The world may whisper that apologizing is weakness, that admitting fault is losing face, that forgiveness is for the foolish. But I speak to you, and my word is life. Humility is not surrender. It is the soul's victory. Humility marks those with tender hearts before me, those who no longer cling to the facade of being right, because they know I am their righteousness. They are not afraid to be seen in weakness, for they know it is in that very place that I draw nearest. They do not fear to bow their heads, because they understand that bowing before truth is the first step toward rising in glory. My child, the proud always seek to justify, to shift blame, to avoid. They live as though admitting fault is only for the lowly. But the wise, those with the light of my spirit within, know this: truth does not shame, it liberates. The wise do not stop at recognizing their wrongs. They go further, to make amends, to reconcile, to step into a new life, no longer bound by the past, but recreated by grace. And I long for you to be counted among them, the company of the wise, not because they have never stumbled, but because they know how to rise again. Not because they are always right, but because when they are wrong, they dare to admit it, to learn from it, and to love more deeply after each mistake. They do not let pride choke the flow of love. They open their hearts to me, to themselves, and to those around them. My beloved, if today you realize that someone has been hurt because of you, do not remain silent. Do not tell yourself it's too late, or surely they've forgotten. Even if time has passed, healing can still begin. I am the one who makes all things new. And I can use your simple apology, your sincere repentance, to heal wounds you once thought could never be mended. Come to me first. Speak honestly with me. Tell me that you see it now, that it hurts you to know you've caused pain, and that you no longer want to live as though it never happened. I will listen. I will forgive. And then I will show you the way forward. It may be through a conversation. It may be through a small but meaningful act. It may be by living differently, with greater gentleness, care, and love, so that the other person can truly see that you have changed. And even if that person is unwilling to forgive, or is no longer present in your life, I can still work within your heart. Forgiveness with me is not dependent on external outcomes, but begins with the honesty and surrender of your soul. You will be free, not because everything has been perfectly resolved in the eyes of the world, but because in my eyes, you have chosen to walk in the light. So, my dear child, do not fear when the light of truth shines upon you. Do not tremble when wrongs rise up to reveal themselves. For if you walk in humility, if you choose to face rather than flee, if you ask me to lead instead of relying on your own reasoning, then I will turn every failure into an opportunity for growth. That has always been my desire for you. Not surface-level perfection, but wisdom that springs from a heart that listens, repents, and learns to love more deeply with every fall. And it is this humility that will make my name radiant through your life, not by might, but through the honesty and courage of walking in the light. Now let me teach you how to pray over your life. Almighty God, I bow before your holy presence. Today I acknowledge that I have hurt others, perhaps through careless words, thoughtless actions, or my silence. I no longer deny it. Please forgive me for what I have done in ignorance. Cleanse my heart of pride, and place within me a tender spirit that loves as you have loved me. Lord, you who know all that is in my heart. So often I fear facing the truth because I feel ashamed. I want to ignore it, to pretend it never happened. But I know you do not reveal anything without purpose. Grant me the courage to face myself, not with eyes of fear, but with trust in your healing love. I want to grow, and I know that can only happen when I step into truth with you. Lord God, I do not want to be proud, always thinking I'm right, always defending myself. Teach me to be wise, to admit when I'm wrong, to learn, to change. Place in me a spirit of true humility, not weakness, but strength in surrender. Help me to live not for my own ego, but for the glory of your name. Dear Lord, I thank you for every time I failed, and yet you did not abandon me. You did not judge me as I deserved, but covered me with grace. So many times I failed to see my own fault, yet you waited patiently, leaving signs to lead me back. I thank you for that unshakable love, a love that always calls me to the truth, so that I may live more fully. Merciful One, I know true wisdom is found only in you. Every time I draw near, you not only reveal my flaws, but you also reach out to guide me. I thank you for never leaving me in the darkness of ignorance, but for faithfully leading me into light. Every truth you show me, even when painful, brings life. Thank you for always desiring my growth, my freedom, and a life lived in the beauty of your good intentions. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.